My name is Jacob Hamilton. I'm a media arts and science graduate, or going to be, I should say. And my project is the Children's Museum Rebrand.
So can you explain what the rebrand means and why the Children's Museum?
Well, the Children's Museum just came out with a rebrand in 2010, and it was actually, by a popular trade blog, called it the third worst redesign of the nation for the year.
For children's museums as a whole, or just museums?
Just brands as a whole.
Flat out brands.
Yes. And on top of that, another quote I saw was, the logo alone makes it look like the most boring children's museum in the world.
And it's not.
Right, exactly. It's actually, it's the biggest. Many people consider it the best. It's award-winning. And the biggest thing you're trying to do right now is grow into a world-class institution so that it can be considered on the same level as, say, the Smithsonian or something like that. Basically, their biggest goal is whenever people think Indianapolis, they want them to think of the Children's Museum and see it as a tourist destination.
So what was some of the biggest challenges in terms of taking this on as a rebranding project?
I think the biggest challenge was trying to improve on what they have without destroying what they've done already, building on top of that while working to improve it, and come up with something that really fits within the city and helps identify with the city.
So now in your display here, you have a banner, some booklets, some folders, a poster or two. Is there a web element to this too?
Yeah, I designed a WordPress using a custom theme for WordPress website, and basically it's just a prototype website. It's not all built out because they have so much content on theirs already. But my biggest goal was just kind of to show how their website should be set up, some of the bigger things they should emphasize. I even did a little bit of research to see what people who visited the website were looking for the most. And so those links could be very prominent on the homepage. Like, the biggest things they have are hours and directions, which are probably the two biggest things people look for, that and price.
And now, is the Children's Museum on board with you? Is this kind of a side project that you're going to approach them with? What's next?
I've received feedback from them. I approached them with my idea for doing the rebrand, and I talked to the vice president, Lisa Townsend, and she was behind me the whole way. She wanted to help out the project any way she could. So I just kind of seeked her feedback. I didn't work for them per se. I was just looking to develop my own thing while still kind of getting the support from them and just showing them what I had done.
Now, what are some of the technology tools you had to use to pull it all together? You mentioned WordPress, but are there some other things you had to do?
The biggest just two elements were just Photoshop and Illustrator. Designing the logo in Illustrator and using Photoshop to put together a lot of different mock-ups, different designs, and just different ideas that they could use. Those were the two really just biggest pieces of software I used.
Any Children's Museum trivia that we should all know?
They actually, I was told this anyway, they bring in more money to the city than the Colts do.
Super. Well, what are you going to be doing next?
After graduation?
Yes.
I'm just looking to get a job, mostly in web design and development, and right now just kind of trying to interview around and look for opportunities.
Any advice for freshmen, sophomores, juniors?
Start on the Capstone early. I know everybody says that, but I'm one of the people who walked in senior year, still had no idea what I was going to do, and this is all just what was developed since then. But it's much easier if you don't do that.
Start early, like junior year at best, maybe, or even
junior year is definitely a good time. If you can come up with an idea by sophomore year, that's even more power to you.
Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.